President Museveni appoints 4 new court judges. First Lady Janet Museveni recognized by a battle for exceptional tolerance. Government to arrest Kasanda LC5 chairman over Ebola sabotage. And in sports, several teams arrive in Qatar, activations ongoing. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Mugalu Mohammed and I am Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma. Now, President Museveni has received a delegation of investors from select Arab countries who expressed interest in constructing several factories in Uganda that will not only manufacture but also provide employment to Ugandans. The delegation from the countries of Jordan, Syria, Egypt and Iraq was led by engineer Bakir Dabaibe of Jordanian Investment and accompanied by the Honorary Consul of the Syrian Arab Republic to Uganda, Dr. Tamu Mustafa. The President assured them of total peace and stability in the country as well as the availability of infrastructure. Take a watch.
To come permanently here with my family, I really appreciate your hospitality for Syrian people in Uganda here, especially after war in Syria. Really appreciate your support, Your Excellency, always to my...
How many Syrians are here?
For now, almost 400 Syrians.
Okay.
We are trying to attract more people, investors, to come to Uganda, but we just want the good and Syrian and good and serious people. We don't know others. That's why I'm trying to filtrate them before they come.
Our first phase 1, around 1,000 staff from Ugandan. It's going to employ inside this project. For phase 1. They are going to develop slowly in the phase 2 to have also to increase the factories, because what they see in here, they are too much heavy. We have also one, he have a factory for rubber, and yes. Also he want to go that side of mattresses, the medical mattresses, and it's called medical one. Latex, and also toys for the children. He's going to produce this in his factory as well.
For the external tax, we coordinate with East Africa, because we are together with East Africa, 300 million people of the 7 countries of Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, South Sudan, and Congo. This is the 300 million people. So we have one common tax, external. For if anything is produced here, then we protect it together. Together, so we shall coordinate with the East African countries. So that you don't only produce for Uganda, you produce for the 300 million people for East Africa. And then you have the stability. So there's a lot of money here. You can make a lot of money here.
President Museveni meeting with Arab investors there. Now, First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, former Vice President Edward Kiijanangoma II, and Kampala Capital City Authority Executive Director Dorothy Kisaka have been recognized for exemplary leadership and tolerance in the 2022 edition of the Abeto Awards. Abeto Awards, celebrated annually since 1996, promote political tolerance and peaceful coexistence not only in Uganda but across the African continent.
The Always Be Tolerant organization Abeto Awards encourages individuals and the diplomatic community to actively involve themselves in peace building. Since being founded over 2 decades ago, Abeto Awards have stood the test of time for their transparency and prestige.
This award is a token of appreciation to your exemplary behavior in society for what you have done in a country torn apart with intrigue and intolerance and corruption, for that matter.
This organization has been working for the last about 25 years very enthusiastically for promotion of peace and tolerance, peaceful coexistence, social harmony.
The 2022 awardees include Janet Museveni, the First Lady and Minister of Education, Edward Sekandi, the former Vice President, Betty Amongi, the Minister of Gender, General Salim Saleh, the Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, the Inspector General of Police Martin Okoth-Ochola, Dorothy Kisaka, the Executive Director of KCCA, Allen Kagina, the Executive Director, Uganda National Roads Authority, and Ambassador David Balondemo, the Chairman, Kampala District Land Board.
I rarely praise myself, but permit me for once. I deserve the award. If an organization of this capacity can identify us, I honestly feel we are a rare creature and species.
The awardees were honored for the recognition and commitment to foster tolerance and peaceful resolution of conflicts in their respective public office.
Tolerance is a value that I've been taught from my childhood, and I really want to applaud my parents, especially my mother, for teaching us to always be tolerant of others. In our Destiny Leadership School, we say that about people never do these 3 Ds. Never degrade, never demean, and never devalue a human being, because they are created in the image of God.
Without building bridges, without engaging, not positive engaging, because you can engage in pretense. Without positive engagement, we cannot solve conflicts. We cannot realize peace.
Some of the notable leaders that were former recipients of the Abeto Award include the late President Nelson Mandela of South Africa, President Yoweri Museveni, and the late President Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, who was awarded posthumously. For UBC News, I'm Jerome Amara.
President Yoweri Museveni has appointed 3 justices of the Supreme Court and 1 Court of Appeal judge. Among the judges appointed include Justice Christopher Madrama Izama, Justice Musota Stephen, and Justice Elizabeth Musoke for the Supreme Court, and lawyer Oscar Kika for Court of Appeal. Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny-Dollo applauded President Museveni for the appointments of the judges.
Basing on the press release from State House, President Yoweri Museveni, under Article 142(1) of the Constitution, has appointed 3 justices of Supreme Court and 1 judge for Court of Appeal. The judges appointed include Justice Christopher Madrama Izama, Justice Musota Stephen, and Justice Elizabeth Musoke for the Supreme Court, and lawyer Oscar Kihika for Court of Appeal.
As a candidate.
After we filed
During the induction of 20 judges of High Court in Entebbe, Chief Justice Alphonse Owiny-Dollo applauded President Museveni for the appointment of these judicial officers.
We have every reason to congratulate them. It is on merit, and I am happy. All of them are very competent people. They have delivered where they have been, and I'm not surprised that they have reached the apex for our judiciary. These are really well-deserving appointments.
During the induction, Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidolo lectured judges on the professional code of conduct and ethics that is required in executing their duties.
There are those contributory factors. As court, our inability breeds corruption in your mind. And then you come back now. So there are a lot of things that need to be sorted out. And the other thing is, we have a society that adores corrupt people.
Let us say no to corruption, absenteeism, and laziness. In the same vein, let the principles enshrined in the Uganda Judicial Code of Conduct be your reference in the discharge of your judicial functions. Chief
Justice tasked them to address the prolonged challenge of case backlog, not eliminating the issue of corruption.
The court is not the building. The building is court building. The building is the court is the judicial officer. Yeah. In any case, when they go to visit land in dispute, we call it locus in quo. They sit under trees and hear cases.
Head Civil Division Court Judge Musa Sekana, who represented Principal Judge, commended the newly appointed judges for the commitment to serve Ugandans.
Let the principles enshrined in the Uganda Judicial Code of Conduct be your reference in the discharge of your judicial functions, and you will certainly succeed. Consult your colleagues and seek guidance of your seniors and supervisors where you're not sure, and the errors will be minimal. I once again...
The intergovernmental organization exclusively pledged to promote rule of law, to advance peace and sustainable development through supporting judiciary.
My colleagues and I at IDLO are committed to supporting the judiciary through the Judiciary Training Institute to enhance the capacity of judges and develop globally recognized jurisprudence emanating from Uganda. It is about time that we have our own law dennings from Uganda.
As of now, High Court has 82 judges, although judiciary is aiming at having 150 judges in this court.
Ministry of Education and Sports has released the academic calendar of the year 2023 for pre-primary, post-primary, colleges and other tertiary institutions. Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has urged all education stakeholders to adhere to the released calendar.
That is complete. The released academic calendar of the year 2023 for pre-primary, primary, secondary, technical schools and community polytechnics stipulates that first term will commence on the 6th of February 2023 and close on the 5th of May 2023 with the total schooling days of 89. The second term will commence on the 29th of May and close on the 25th of August 2023 with 89 schooling days. The third term for these institutions will commence on Monday, the 18th of September 2023 and close on Friday, the 1st of December 2023.
That we are going back to the normal calendar. This year we had an abnormal kind of calendar with so many weeks. First term had 14, second term had 14, and this one had almost 13.
Education stakeholders urged to adhere to the calendar.
By many stakeholders, but some of those stakeholders decide not to do their part, and then they use the media to put out wrong messages and confuse the public.
Uganda Technical Colleges and Uganda Colleges of Commerce will commence their Semester 1 on the 9th of January 2023 and close on the 5th of May 2023 with a total period of 17 weeks. The second semester for these institutions will begin on 21st of August 2023 and close on the 15th of December 2023.
Then Semester 2 will begin on 21st August 2023 and end on 15th December 2023. Exams will be done on those dates indicated.
The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, cautioned the school managers about the tragedy of Ebola and COVID-19, which have impacted the education sector immensely.
If Ebola escalates, we will inform you at that stage. For now, we're praying and believing and also informing our public that they must change their behavior.
Another calendar the minister has released is that of nursing training schools.
Paramedical institutions, those are allied health institutions. Semester 1 will begin on 16th January 2023 and end on 12th May 2023, 17 weeks.
The Uganda Examinations Board has given a report on the ongoing final examinations. The board has committed investigations in the matter of Kakumiro pupils who missed PLE mathematics paper.
Inquired as to how they allowed this unlicensed school to be running and what they have so far done about this director and what the fate of this school would be. And Mama, what we learned is that the director is in hiding, but is also now in the process of selling off his school.
Schools and other institutions are tasked to sensitize parents and other stakeholders about this 2023 education calendar. Abdul Nasili Lubwama and Juma Ansamba, UBC News.
Government of Uganda has warned that it will not hesitate arresting the Kasanda District Local Government Chairperson, Fred Kasiye, on allegations that he has suspended the Ebola District Task Force from operating at the district headquarters. According to Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomuzi, if proved that indeed the chairperson has evicted the task force, the strongest arm of the law will not spare him. Take a watch.
I've been informed that tourists have been cancelling their trips to Uganda.
On 15th November 2022, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, delivered a nationwide televised Ebola update to the country.
I would like to reassure the international community, tourists and conference organizers, and the entire Ugandan population that the government has put in place measures to control the outbreak.
Top on the President's address was a set of new Ebola directives, especially to the two districts of Kasanda and Mubende, which are currently under lockdown.
I once again repeat that all traditional healers and witch doctors are prohibited from carrying out their activities during this Ebola outbreak.
To substantiate the President's communication is the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomuzi, especially for the layman.
Please, please, please. Our message as health workers, our message as government is that let us all work together. Because now Ebola has moved from Kasanda and Mubende now to Kampala, to Jinja, Masaka. And if we are not careful, it can easily explode and will be forced to announce lockdowns for these cities or even the whole country.
Baryomuzi reminds border operators about the new Ebola lockdown restrictions.
The border riders, please. This is about our health and everybody's health. Yes, you may want to make money, but why can't you wait for 21 days? We first contain this pandemic and then you can resume when we don't have cases.
Lorry drivers, religious leaders and traditional herbalists are among those slapped by the new restrictions.
And we would like to mobilize their understanding that the government is not against them, but it's an effort to contain this Ebola disease. Because records indicate that many people who have been getting symptoms of Ebola have been rushing to traditional healers before they go to the health facilities, and the traditional healers are not well trained, first of all, to suspect and also manage in accordance with our procedure.
However, government is roaring against the Kasanda District Chairperson, Fred Kasiye's move of expelling the District Ebola Task Force from operating at the district headquarters.
We can even arrest that chairperson because
he should not misuse his authority to now chase away a task force which is helping the people of Kassala. What kind of leader is that one? Because when the people vote you and an epidemic, an outbreak like this one comes, what is expected of a leader is to work with other leaders to see that all measures are put in place to protect the people who vote for us. So how can a chairperson of a district just be doing the contrary?
According to local media reports, in a letter dated 14th November 2022, written by Mr. Kasirye, who has since then acknowledged it, the task force is inconveniencing on the district service delivery by camping at the district headquarters. This, according to Minister Dr. Christopher Yomosi, downplays the government's efforts, hence sounding a last call warning.
Yes, we all want people to get services, but services include being treated for Ebola and other diseases, or having prevention measures so that the people do not get infected with Ebola. So what does he mean by services? Does he want to provide services to dead people?
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, has led a team to a field visit to Kasanda and Mubende Ebola epicenter to assess the state of the Ebola virus spread and control. Mr. Acheng emphasized the importance of strict adherence to the presidential guidelines in order to fight the spread of the disease.
Because we have to have access to the road. Yeah, we'll have separate access. Yeah.
So that one is another activity that all of you will have to participate in, because it has to be administered in a very safe way. The mass drug administration is that everybody in Mubende will be given anti-malaria. Good report about your district, about the challenges, and the areas that you need action on. We, together with your members of parliament, can use that report to channel it forward. But going one by one and I go and say we need a hospital, they will say, but they don't have health workers. That's why we need it written down very well. Put down a lobbying case for Kasanda. And during the festive season, many things happen. We don't want cases popping up. So you have to increase the gear, be more vigilant, increase the risk communication messages. Now that you have started seeing 0 cases sometimes, please maintain that so that we can move over and cross to the new year when we are safe. We don't want any more deaths. Those that have happened are just too many. We don't want any more.
23 have recovered and have been discharged and have returned to the communities. This effort currently is on contact tracing. As you have seen, for the last 4 days, we have had 0 cases, but we have had a number of contacts. These are the people who, if not followed up, can be able to develop symptoms. And so yesterday, we had 1,027 contacts, of which 361 were followed up. And our follow-up rate has been improving over time, and we are at 98%.
There is a young brother to Muzaffar called Kabugu Mahad. The one, they say that he is the imam who exhumed the body and buried for burial according to the Islamic rites. That is wrong. We call upon you, Right Honorable Minister, to go with you. You make a thorough investigations, beginning with the home village where the boy was buried, the surrounding area, involve even the police. They are contented with what they found out. We felt sad yesterday hearing His Excellency accusing again us of the same thing. Many of our friends, many of our relatives cannot even step in Chikandwa town because of the fear. We are stigmatized. They point fingers in us wherever we go because of that false accusations.
Thank you. You matter a huge amount to us.
The Minister very kindly called us an invisible hand behind the response. The hand isn't going anywhere. It really does help to see what is happening on the ground. I would really like to applaud the Ministry and the whole team for the transparency shown. It helps us to help you, and it shows the whole world that they can have confidence in the response here in Uganda.
Minister of ICT and National Guidance, United Nations Development Programme and Centenary Technology Services have started engaging stakeholders in the ICT sector as a way of defining Uganda's long-term roadmap on digital transformation. Now, these engagements will seek to put in place a realistic and relevant roadmap that the government of Uganda will follow in the national effort to digitize the country.
The United Nations Development Programme, under its Digitalization, Innovation and Smart Cities Programme, together with the Ministry of ICT and Centre Tech, are taking the lead in developing a robust digital transformation roadmap. Representing the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Amos Mpungu, highlighted that once rolled out, the roadmap will spur growth of other sectors in the economy.
As government, we realize it does not help us to set up infrastructure if we are not setting it up to serve the people. Or what the PS wants to do in ICT is not have a program that is only made of government entities, but a program that is made of development partners, program made of innovators, private sector, and name it all.
On his part, Centre Tech's Chief Technology Officer, Peter Kahiji, argued that the roadmap is set to address the technological gaps in the country.
ICT is a driver for development and progression, and is not the only one. And that is why we are intentional about collaborations with key partners and like-minded entities such as the UNDP. We will continue to support these communities to digitize, and we're excited that we can extend this ecosystem to UNDP, to the government, and to all other development partners to be able to make a meaningful contribution to our country.
Many argue that for a full rollout, the current national context for digital scaling in the country has to be embedded in the ecosystem.
This has been identified by government in the context of NDP 3 as an important enabler in driving the realizations of the goals set out in NDP 3. So we want to capitalize. And as we speak now, as much as there's been significant investment in the country in terms of infrastructure to, push digital transformation, we still have challenges with penetration.
Once curated, the digital transformation roadmap will enable the various digital agendas as a country to be achieved and also facilitate the use of big data generated every day to mitigate risks.
Now, Uganda police remains on high alert across the country to deter any form of criminal activity. Today marks exactly 1 year since the ADF attacked Central Police Station, Kampala. A lot of changes have been made at the station, including closing some roads. Ivan Kahwa reports.
It is exactly 1 year since the ADF militants attacked Central Police Station and Nile Avenue in Kampala respectively. The attack did not spare the suicide attacker, who was later confirmed to have been wearing a suicide vest.
This is the exactly spot where a suicide attacker detonated a bomb vest last year, killing scores and injuring many. But since then, a lot of amendments and changes have been made at Central Police Station, Kampala, and sandbags have been erected to increase and improve on the layers of security in case of any other form of eventuality.
We know, or we hope, that in case there is another bomb blast, it will reduce the impact of the blast or of the bomb, because the other time we didn't have it and our officers were exposed.
Checkpoints have since been increased to 2, and the number of armed personnel has been intensified.
Just in the case of any, if one checkpoint misses to detect something, then the second checkpoint should be able to detect. We have removed all the accident vehicles that used to park within the station, and the vehicles that has some issues, either they are being, there's investigation ongoing, so they could be parked here at the station.
The road where the detonation occurred is halfway closed from Buganda Road, and walkways at the Constitutional Square Street have been closed. This has created enough space to minimize crowding at the station.
We know in one way or another it is inconveniencing them, but we need to protect ourselves.
For now, pedestrians using the road adjacent CPS are monitored using the available CCTV cameras.
And the people in the control room are monitoring what is taking place. In case there is anything, they alert people on the ground that this check on so and so, we suspect him.
Police is on high alert across the country.
Have already been informed to be alert, to be ready, and not to take things for granted.
We continue to conduct a number of joint operations to prevent, disrupt and dismantle these terror cells and activities.
The terror incidents forced the head of state to roar against the ADF militants in their hideouts in the thickets of the Democratic Republic of Congo under Operation Shujaa.
Of course, they will be prosecuted, but if they do not come out, they will all die.
Operation Shujaa was commanded by Major General Kiijanangoma Muhanga, now Lieutenant General, who has since been appointed Commander Land Forces. Major General Dick Olum is now Commander Operation Shujaa that continues to uproot rebel groups operating in DRC. Ivan Kahua and Brian Tumwine Byaruhanga, UBC News in Kampala.
Recently created cities across Uganda will be required to follow the National Physical Development Plan in execution of any developmental activities. The policy, recently passed by Cabinet, seeks to ease inter-infrastructural connectivity both within and outside the country. State Minister for Housing, Persis Namuganza, says under the new policy, no housing or industrial project will be established without adhering to required standards. We have more from our reporter Henry Okrot.
Whether in rural or urban areas, no development will take place without adhering to the newly passed National Physical Development Plan. This ranges from housing, industrial, or any other form of development.
Where the place is not earmarked for industrialization, for example, we shall not allow them to put their industries. Where it's not for settlement, we shall not allow them.
The new arrangement seeks to, among other things, reduce on-slum development and improve service interconnectivity in and outside the country.
The whole country has been physically planned in terms of infrastructure corridors where the water, the cables for internet and other areas will pass.
This new position comes at a time land acquisition is proving a challenge to government programs. It is the more reason why a land acquisition policy is in offing.
It was advised that it would be proper for the land acquisition to be brought along with other constitutional reforms, like you've heard of the Constitutional Review Commission.
Namuganza, who was officiating at the National Land Forum, expressed concern for environmental protection in national development.
All those cities and urban areas and everywhere, they will be regulated.
Because if a forest reserve was gazetted, for example, in 1900, how come somebody gets a land title in 2000?
According to experts, all these land-related controversies will end if there is no political interference.
There has to be political will to change. And we have to have mindset change also within among the owners of the land and the people settled on the land. We want development, yes, but at what cost?
Our engagement in this sector is to ensure
that we can be able to have these people also have their say, but also know the policies, the land policies that are in place.
The National Land Forum is being held under the theme, Taking Stock of the National Land Policy in Addressing Land Inequality in Uganda. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Inter-Religious Council of Uganda has called upon Ugandans to be vigilant in fighting the spread of Ebola by reporting any suspected cases. Dr. Joseph Serwada, on behalf of the chairperson of the council, says they are committed to mobilize and activate the faith-based networks and structures to support education and mass campaigns to raise awareness on the Ebola epidemic.
The Inter-Religious Council of Uganda leadership would like to acknowledge the relentless efforts made by the government of Uganda and partners. What we have here now is an enemy who is mercilessly lethal and deadly. We therefore call upon the public to note that Ebola is real, has no cure, and kills. Ebola should be understood from the scientific rather than the mystical or spiritual perspectives. We therefore commit to mobilize and activate our faith-based networks and structures to support education and mass campaigns to raise awareness on the causes, symptoms, spread, prevention, and treatment of the Ebola pandemic. This pandemic is not yet under control. Current indicators show that it is getting worse, and it is expected to continue to spread. This significant increase in cases is extremely worrying, as is the widening geographic scope and community deaths occurring outside of the healthcare system. Commit to provide the necessary tools and knowledge to our local religious leaders to facilitate informed sermons and talk to communities in ways that are not only rooted in faith principles, but promote trust, care, reduce fear, and tackle stigma.
News Tonight now takes a short break, but we'll return with much more. Do stay with us.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165 *77# or use the Momo app to register.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold out much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 20th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
At
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You say I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just say for register. Yes. Become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, Uganda and the United Kingdom are set to intensify trade between the two countries in food and agricultural products. This has reignited the idea of having direct flights from Uganda to the United Kingdom to ease movement and trade. This was during the launch of the Growth Gateway, a UK-Africa investment service, at an event officiated by the UK Trade Envoy to Uganda, Lord Dola Popat.
It is public knowledge that all flights from Uganda to the United Kingdom have stopovers. This prolongs the duration of movements, delaying not only corporate, but also business dealings. These are some of the challenges that the new trade partnership between the United Kingdom and Uganda is seeking to address.
There are so many products that you have here in Uganda that UK can have with. We have a number of UK companies willing to buy Ugandan products, but we are waiting for Uganda Airways because that will bring in the cargo that we need on a daily basis.
These gaps will be bridged with business people in Uganda wanting to see bureaucracies ended.
A lot of our neighbors are enjoying very, very big benefits because they have direct flights, both of cargo and passenger. We would like that direct line of flight be established ASAP.
So this falls in line with the kind of programs we are running, especially to prepare our exporters under the Export Readiness Program.
The Growth Gateway is a UK investment service. It was launched at the residence of the British High Commissioner to Uganda.
We really want to be able to provide greater flow of trade between our two countries, increasing choice and lowering costs for consumers.
There's no bureaucracy there. You will find people wanting to invest, trade, export, import, UK businesses and Ugandan businesses.
If well executed, this will give business support to African and UK businesses to trade and invest. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Limon Medical Center, a comprehensive primary health care center in Mbuya, a Kampala suburb, has unveiled a newly refurbished theatre to cater for the underprivileged communities living in surrounding areas. Father John Bosco Mubanjizi, a financial administrator at Limon Medical Center, says being funded by the Komboni missionaries with a vision of providing Christ-centered holistic care and outpatients in the theatre is very, very timely.
The state-of-the-art Limoni Medical Center is fully equipped with an ultrasound machine, laboratory, pharmacy, and a theater. Limoni Medical Center theater will accommodate 2 patients under the direct supervision of health workers for surgical operations.
I'm so happy about this health center simply because I know as a missionary, as a Catholic, as a believer, that Jesus Christ, one of the issues of Jesus Christ was the healing ministry. that once he was in this world, he touched so many people, he healed them. So he was interested in the healing, in the health welfare of the people. And Senator Kombona, our founder, when he came to Africa, he was a bishop in Sudan. He did a lot in the healing ministry. He began so many hospitals, and also he began schools because he believed in the integral growth of a human person.
Father John Bosco Mubangizi says the facility will enable those who cannot afford high rates for medical care and urged Ugandans to come for medical care.
Because I believe it is going to help so many people in our parish here, in Mbuya. Because as you know, Mbuya, we have all sorts of people, and we also have mostly the disadvantaged. If you think of Kasokoso, then you have the actual quarters there. We have Giza. We have so many people that cannot really manage to pay high cost of health.
He said they are striving to promote the well-being of patients through provision of quality health care. Dr. Odoka Ambrosoli Joseph, the in-charge Lemoni Medical Center, said the theatre will enable them provide the necessary care and perform the right form of procedures.
The person simply needs to walk into Lemoni Medical Center and move to the receptionist. At the reception, there are those services that they may be able to get free of charge. And then there are those services that are discounted or low-cost services that would be available to them. All that one needs to do is to simply walk through the gates of Lemoni Medical Center, and the possibilities are very wide.
Anne Gongabwenje asked Lemoni never to ever become a commercial setup for the underprivileged to access medical care.
Lemoni has love. When you come, for example, if you come and you meet a doctor, first of all, we'll explain to you about yourself. They even go to an extent of bringing the computer to show you, you see, this is how your body is made.
Lemoni Medical Center offers, among others, clinical programs ranging from primary care for preventing diagnosis, as well as treatment of common ailments, to specialized treatments. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
The Presidential Advisor on Industries, Amelia Chambadi, has advised political leaders in office to prepare their retirement by establishing developmental projects before they exit their offices. Chambadi is concerned that while still in office, many leaders are never bothered with other income-generating activities, and the few who establish them rest all their supervisory responsibilities with the workers who usually kill them off. More of that in this story.
Political leaders have been advised to establish developmental projects while still in office to enable them have income-generating activities after retirement. The Presidential Advisor on Trade and Industries, Amelia Chambadi, says during her time in Parliament, she spent most of the time in politics and left her projects with workers, and this affected them. However, to date, with enough time, the projects are blossoming again. Chambadi made the remarks while officiating the opening of the one-wheel training for leaders in the Kiijanangoma from the districts of Mityana and Mpigi, held at the National Farmers Leadership Center in Kamping Sampigi.
I had a lot of resources at hand which I was not monitoring, which I had not focused on. For example, I had about 6 ponds of fish, but I didn't even know where the fish was going because I was too busy. So even if you have another engagement, please make sure you also pay attention to your project or any investment you're doing. Because normally we have these side businesses, but we never follow up. I never recorded, and it was done preaching the gospel of streamlining one's businesses or formalizing.
The training is aimed at improving on digital financial systems, credit management, management skills, governance and financial management, among others. She encouraged the Kiijanangoma leaders undergoing training to utilize the skills and knowledge to train others. The national coordinator, Kiijanangoma, Andrew Chepa, says the biggest challenges of village banks is recovery of loans, and said this training is also to equip these leaders with necessary skills to help them recover loans.
Improving financial management, improving credit management, and also in this training we are orienting leaders on how to use digital financial system that has been provided us by the government of Korea through the Korean Federation of the Community Credit Cooperatives.
Relatedly, Ameria Chambade, accompanied with the principal of NFLC Chairman LC3 Kamengo, among others, visited Kampiringsa Health Center 3. I'm Navka Farida and Salongo Kasvante.
Our State Minister for National Guidance, Godfrey Kabianga, has called upon government to consider investing in the recycling of both liquid and solid waste such as fecal and plastic waste. The minister was presiding over the national dialogue on the sustainable future, where key environmental activists were awarded for their great service.
Waste into wealth. That's what we have not captured.
Liquid and solid wastes like plastic can be dangerous to the environment if not well managed. This waste can not only generate money but can also be purposely used to generate environmentally friendly energy.
Because we did a lot of work groundwards to explain what we can do. We cannot first kill our industry like South Africa.
In most developed cities, fecal matter and plastics have been recycled to generate coal and charcoal, manure and biogas for cooking, while plastic has been used to generate hydrogen and methane. Professor Frederick Muyodi is a consultant at the National Environmental Management Authority.
We are aiming at having controlled disposal of the waste so that we can at least have organized places. Then from there, when we look at the area, the next is where we go to creation of what in fact as a sanitary landfill. Kitezi is a sanitary landfill.
According to the Director of Uganda Cancer Institute, Dr. Jackson Orem, government needs to invest more resources in elimination of solid wastes from the environment, especially waste with a long decomposition life. This accordingly should be coupled with research on whether waste recycling does not cause cancer.
We should think about environmental factors, but we need to put emphasis so that we can know clearly whether this is so. And we cannot do that without actually mounting research.
During the National Dialogue on Sustainable Future held in Kampala, key environmental players, including the late Speaker of Parliament Jacob Olanya, were awarded for his support for global peace and environment. Professor Patrick Ogwang also received an award for extensive innovation in indigenous medicines, while Minister Murule Mukasa received an award for his outstanding character and sacrifice.
They are working from nothing. They've been over 17 years of research to go ahead and proclaim the message. And
State Minister for National Guidance Godfrey Kabianga says Uganda is underutilizing a lot of waste that would generate revenue and as well save the environment.
We shouldn't look at only plastics. We should also look at other waste. Liquid waste, for instance, we are not looking at that. Use as fertilizer. Manure, just simple technology. But we are still wasting that.
Minister Kabianga says the government needs to rethink of strategies to support advanced recycling of both solid and liquid waste.
Science can produce a lot of energy if we come up with the appropriate technology to process it. Those have just come from soil. They are making energy out of what? Of waste. They have a landfill like that one which it is.
Both solid and liquid waste can potentially be recycled into useful material. Susan Naong and Andrew Sebira reporting for ABC TV.
High taxes on agricultural inputs, wildlife predation and poor roads, especially in the northern parts of the country, are some of the factors that have deterred farmers from benefiting from their hard work, despite most of them investing heavily. Farmers now want government to intervene in some of these issues such that they can benefit and take pride in farming.
Farming is one of the things that require investment, intelligence and time if one is to yield highly from it. Lately, most farmers prefer circle farming for profit, which has helped them to reduce on expenditure. In the districts of Kiijanangoma, Chiboga and Otuke, farmers who have embraced circle farming are now growing maize, soya, sweet potato, watermelon, rice among others. To benefit, some have adapted the use of farming machinery such as cultivators and other quality additives such as milling. MacDonald Ejoko, a resident of Otuke district, a farmer who owns 4 mills, says this saves residents in the area from making long journey to harvest their crops.
Milling centers were only known to be working in Lira, but now people realize that it can also work up here.
Not only Ejoko is involved in improving the quality of agricultural products, but also in Kiijanangoma district, more than 1,000 farmers have joined the Kiijanangoma area cooperative doing the same.
Our target is that we are supporting the farmers under this SDP project by giving them the improved seeds, by giving them the fertilizers. Where the challenge is that like the system is not always on, but you could find the farmers, they are coming to pick the tap lines.
However, farmers in Kiijanangoma areas, especially those near the game reserves, have faced challenges including wild animals invading their crop fields.
They start the scaring of the elephant by the time they have started planting up to the time of harvest. 200 tons. If we want to transport them to just a nearby area like in Kasese, the roads are not passable.
There is also too much taxation that should be reduced. It should be at least given some tax holidays, especially for this district of Otuke, because it's just an upcoming district.
Despite the challenges, farmers are proud of the agricultural trainings Sasakawa Africa Association, Narrow and World Food Program provide.
They first gave me the machines before paying, and on using them, I'm paying bits by bits. Meanwhile, it is helping me.
It actually constructed this main building, the support for the whole this building. It includes the storage facility, the offices, were constructed by the Sasakawa.
Chamgisha says farmers should adapt to the new farming mechanisms so as to benefit from it.
Because when they come together at the one-stop center, then there is a lot of bargaining power and farmers are confident in what they are doing. Because of the capacity building and financial literacy that we have built with them, they've been able to write winning proposals to other development partners.
The Sasakawa Africa Association is visiting various parts of the country to see how farmers are benefiting from various farming methods they have been taught. I'm Navka Farida and Deborah Namamonde.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165 *77# or use the Momo app to register.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Barra and Jinja.
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 20th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash hands with soap, it means clean hands for all. This is a message from the National Hand Washing Secretariat.
Welcome back, Sports News now, and the long wait is over, and now it is 4 days to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So far, fans have already started arriving for the games, while teams to compete are equally making their way to Qatar.
In 4 days, UBC TV will broadcast live the FIFA World Cup tournament in Qatar. So far, all 30 teams have assembled. Others are in early arrival for the games. Host nation Qatar will play their first game on Sunday against Ecuador. Have had fans of different teams in a drive with chants and songs celebrating the first World Cup of the Middle East. So far, restaurants are becoming packed and queues at checkouts in supermarkets are getting longer thanks to the football fans who have started to arrive. Among the first teams to arrive for the games include England, who are in Group B with Iran, Tunisia and Wales. The others that have arrived for the games include African giants Senegal, without their star player Sadio Mane, the Netherlands, Denmark, Wales, among other teams. Meanwhile, Sadio Mane will miss Senegal's first game at the World Cup because of the leg injury. An official from the country's football federation has said. The West Africans begin their Group A campaign against the Netherlands on Monday, with games against host Qatar and Ecuador to follow. Qatar will be the first Middle East country to host the FIFA World Cup and has spent billions of dollars constructing some of the most eco-friendly and architectural advanced sporting facilities.
And that story brings us to the end of News Tonight this Wednesday, the 16th day of November 2022. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Mogalu Mohammed and I am Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma wishing you a blessed night. But up next here on UBC TV, it is Super Soul Sisters that will be followed at 10 by Behind the Headlines. Good night and see you tomorrow.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Another exciting episode, I must say. Every time I sit here, I enjoy myself. I get to meet people and who they truly are. You know, so many times we only see the front pages, so and so and so and so. And just a quick reminder, we do make sure we inspire our young men and women who are out there. Now, Super Soul Sisters, my name is Rowena Kajumba. Our Super Soul Sister today is quite a character, very calm. She's from the time she walked in here, she was very free and relaxed. And of course, that is Dr. Patricia Ochan Okiria. Did I say it correctly? Achan Okiria. Yes, the Okiria one is the one that was really confusing me. But we'll get to that. And of course, she is the deputy IGG. And we had a previous conversation with someone and they said, but why these people? And the point is to inspire someone out there who has a goal. You're very welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Yes. And thank you for the opportunity to have constructive dialogue with you here to share my story. Yes.
But also, she is a lawyer, so explains a lot. So
it's a doctor of laws.
Doctor of laws, yes. So, Doctor, real quick, if someone wants to know who Patricia is, without the titles, without all the other things that come and responsibilities, who is Patricia Achan?
Patricia Achan Okiria is a child of God.
Yes.
A child of God who is a mother of 4 biological children and 5 non-biological children. I love the Lord. I committed myself to Christ many times in primary as I was growing up, and I did a final decision when I was in my senior 1. Yes. So it's by God's grace that I am what I am today. Yes. So I would describe myself as a humble servant of the Lord. Yes.
So who are you born to, when and where?
I am born to one Mrs. Winifred Agabo Aliobe and Joseph Owor, who is deceased.
Oh dear.
Yes, I grew up actually not knowing because my dad passed on in 1975, 2 months before I was born. So I got a stepdad, and then my uncles from my dad's side basically came into the picture, and that is how I grew. But my mom is living. She's called Winifred Agabo Aliobe. She recently retired from Refugee Law Project, where she has been working as Director Education.
Nice.
And we are 6 children. Yes. My elder sister is called Jenna Kello. She works with Uganda Revenue Authority. And then my follower is called Juliet Aliobe. She's a teacher by profession. Then the follower of Julie is called Joan Aliobe. She's also a teacher by profession, and she teaches at Entebbe Senior Secondary School. And Joan's follower is called Solomon. Solomon is into outreach. He does work for Life Ministry, and then he has got an NGO which basically does support for children. And then Jesse is, Solomon is followed by Jesse. Jesse is a civil engineer. He's into constructions. He does his private things, and that is how we grew up.
Yes. So, where were you? Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I was born in Mulago Hospital in 1975. On the 19th September